South Florida. Welcome to the Flag Day edition of the Real Estate Show. Yes, how many people still remember that it's Flag Day today? Anyway, this is the Real Estate Show, which is heard live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week at 5 p.m. and coming to you five different ways to consume the Real Estate Show on the AM station, the FM station, and one of your popular apps, on our website, automaticlandlord.com, and on Facebook Live. Yes, we are broadcasting this radio show live on Facebook. So not only do I have a pretty face for radio, but you can also watch the show right there on our Facebook Live page. Good opportunity to send in your questions during the show. Just a little bit of interaction, and one more way for you to, like I said, consume the Real Estate Show. The show is also posted on our Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/The Real Estate Show, you can, if you miss any of the shows, they're all back in chronological order, going backwards for quite some time, years. And you also can listen to the rebroadcasts on demand, either in podcast form or right there on the website, at our website at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. So we got a great show for you. In fact, today being Monday means it's our Mondays on a Mission edition of the Real Estate Show. Now, on our Monday show, what we'll start doing is, first of all, describe the topic, what we're going to be spending a lot of our emphasis on this week. And if you're a regular listener, or if you were just listening last week, we were talking about some of the wealth secrets of converting debt to wealth, and a lot of popular response to that. So one of the things that you're going to want to have either a pencil and paper ready, or you can just plug our smart text line right into your cell phone so that you can text these words as they come up on our show, where we have free reports, invitations to some of our workshops, a number of different reasons why you'll want to be able to text. And here's the text number, and the words may change, but the number never does. And the number is 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. And so this week, we're going to be talking about the three biggest obstacles to, the process that we kind of boiled it down. By the end of the week, I was talking about there is the first step is you got to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Now, when you talk about converting debt to wealth, there's really there's a two-stage step. Now, you can jump a stage, but it's really finding out those of you who have debt, whether you have good debt or bad debt. Now, if you discover that you have credit card debt, installment loans, and a lot of these other things that aren't wealth building tools in the form of debt, then I'm going to tell you that you need to convert from that bad debt first into the good debt. And then from the good debt, then you can convert that into equity, i.e. wealth, real estate wealth in particular. So that's what we're going to be talking about is, what are those three obstacles, how to overcome those three obstacles. And I'm going to give you some great ideas and strategies to do that. In fact, our Monday show, which there you are, is our mission. Now, let me give you a little bit of the agenda of the week. The week is already all planned out. Our Tuesdays, which is typically our tools, tips, and techniques, I'm actually going to go into some of the tools that we use, some of the techniques that we use, and so you'll see the strategies. What is it that we do? How is it that we filter the bad debt to good debt to wealth? What is it that makes the difference, and what's the best way to make that conversion? So that's going to be our Tuesday show, and Wednesday is our midweek report. And we're going to be talking about, where the economy is, where the status is of the debt. Last week we talked about, that $2 trillion in equity was created for people who own real estate just in the first quarter of this year, $2 trillion. So kind of makes up a little bit for some of the spending that the government's going crazy on. But, talking about bad debt and some of the bad effects of debt. So, it's not just the debt itself that's bad, but we have also the after effect. One of the things that's very much in the news right now is the conversation of inflation, right? The government has put out so much additional money in the form of these, the incentives, the rescues, the all of the different packages, literally trillions of dollars and $1 trillion at a time, that there is the inevitable number one need to repay all that money. That is going to put pressure, as well as the amount of money that's out there in the marketplace is going to put pressure on inflation, and inflation can be really a big problem. You remember, if you were around in the 70s when we had hyperinflation, and literally we had gas shortages, we had inflation, and you're hearing a little bit about certain shortages. You've been hearing about the inflation causing costs to go up in construction, and the effect is definitely a ripple effect out there. And so what you want to be is in the position where you're not subject to the debt, because as inflation rises, but if you have your investments in the right assets, and I'll just give you a little spoiler alert, then real estate is an excellent hedge against inflation. So is inflation coming? All but certain, right? It's coming. It's just a matter of time. And when the government and the powers that be feel that the economy is strong enough to absorb it, they're going to raise interest rates. They're going to raise the costs of capital. You're going to see a whole bunch of different things happen, which will make everything, seem and be more expensive. But when you have real estate, number one, and think about this, if there's inflation, and which means that the value of today's dollar goes down with time, and you have that good long-term debt, two smart strategies: real estate and locking in 30-year mortgage rates at these very, very low single-digit rates for the next 30 years. You could come out looking like and sounding like a hero when interest rates have gone up a lot higher than they are today, when you're in the middle of all of that inflation in the future. And I don't think that future is all that far out there. Today I had a call from one of my customers out in the Texas area, and they were asking me, what do I think about the interest rates? And they're planning on going away on a vacation for 3 weeks. Should they do something now, or is it okay to wait? Is it, interest rates going to stay flat for a while, or do you think they're going to go up, or do you think they're going to go down? Right? There's only three things that could happen. It can go up, it can go down, or it can stay the same. And I said the following, and this is, I don't have the absolute crystal ball. I don't see into the future, and I don't try to predict the future, only to prepare myself for what the future brings. And I'll tell you this much. If 30-year fixed interest rates today are hovering around 3%, last week we talked about the national average coming in at about 3.19% or 3.17 by the end of the week. Interest rates actually came down a little bit, but I said, look at how interest rates come down. They came down 0.02%. Okay, 0.02%. So the issue there isn't how much lower the interest rates can go. If you're thinking that you're going to get a 1% interest rate, good luck, because now I'm going to talk about a concept that we talk with our private clients about, the interest rate compression. And interest rate compression means that the chance of the interest rates going down 2% versus going up 2%, well, it's a lot more likely that one hiccup in the economy and interest rates could easily go from 3 to 5%. All you need is a terrorist attack, an oil embargo, or some crazy major worldwide thing could easily snap interest rates into a different direction. But on the other hand, the odds of it, what is it that could cause an overnight drop in interest rates from 3 to 1%? And the answer is it's really not very likely, and it's much harder. Interest rates will go down in smaller increments because of the compression effect of interest rates, rather than the fact that it could easily go up. It could jump up simply by one of those events that I talked about. So my answer to it is get the process started now, so that you, first of all, find out right away if there's any issues that could pop up that you're not aware of. Maybe there's something on your credit report that you didn't know. Maybe there's an issue verifying the amount of income, or maybe what if there was an issue with job stability. One of the things that another client of mine was talking about today was that they were looking at making that switch from a full-time W-2 job to get into more full-time in real estate. And I said, well, then do your housekeeping now while you have that verifiable history of W-2 income. Your real estate income right now is gravy on top. Whereas when you make the jump into full self-employment, you're going to have to be self-employed for 2 years before banks take your self-employment income as solid, reliable income. So there's another thing why taking advantage of these interest rates, really, time is of the essence. If you're interested in learning more about how to lock in these low 3% and below rates, then text the word loan to 561-861-2366. That's 561-861-2366. Time is running out, and you don't want to be one of the people that says, boy, if I'd only known then what I know now, or I wish I would have, I wish I could have. It's not real until it's locked, and it's not locked until you start the process. So that's enough on that topic. Anyway, I want to switch over. I'm going to go ahead first, take a quick break, talk a little bit about a few words from our sponsors. And then when we come back, I'm going to tell you what are the three obstacles to converting, the three biggest obstacles to converting debt from bad debt to good debt, from good debt to good equity to wealth in real estate. And that's coming up right after these words. So you're listening to The Real Estate Show here on our Mondays on a Mission edition of the show. Don't touch that dial, because I'll be right back. So Monday kicks off. Flag Day. Flag Day. All right, look at that. The texts are coming in. So you'll hear an automatic response, and then you'll hear from me too on terms of the loan, because that's the time really is of the essence. So how is everybody out there? We got a lot of rain here today that I know that we have been needing for a long, long time. Okay, we're coming back. And Facebook is funny. I've got absolutely no list of And welcome back. For those of you just joining us here on The Real Estate Show, my name is Eric Willner. I am your host, and we are live here Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, in 5 different ways to consume The Real Estate Show, whether it be on our website at automaticlandlord.com, whether it be on our Facebook live page at facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. You could also listen to us on some of the apps, the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the radio.com app, and the WWNN also has an app directly so that you can just open that app, listen live right here to this radio station. You can listen live if you're there at 5. You'll hear us. Otherwise, you'll hear different programs throughout the day on Money Talk Radio. It's a good station. And you can also listen to us on the FM dial at 95.3, 96.9, to name a few. And on the AM, where we started this humble little program 23 years ago, on AM 1470. And so before the break, we were talking about this whole process of converting bad debt, or just unsecured, unprofitable debt, into good debt. And there is a major difference, understanding the difference between good debt and bad debt. And then taking the next step, the best step, which is converting that good debt into good equity and good wealth in real estate, and that equity that becomes income generating wealth. And that's what this show is really all about. Remember, our mission here is to educate and empower more of our listeners to own a piece of the American dream, to own a piece of real estate, to be part of what's going on here. For those folks of you that are already in real estate, you've benefited from some, great appreciation. We've had a great run coming out of the Great Recession. Property values are up. The demand for properties are up. The demand for rental properties is up. In fact, I was looking at an article a while ago talking about cash offers lead to a spike in the rental market. And what they're saying is that unless you can drop a pile of cash on the table and compete with this, crazy frenetic real estate market, you may get squeezed into renting in Florida's crazy home buying market. Home shoppers who need a mortgage are finding it harder and harder to land a house when competing against buyers, many from out of state. And as you know, there's been a big migration going on from New York, from California, into all of the Sun Belt states, from Arizona to Texas to Florida. And so as you can see, it's another positive effect if you're already in real estate. If you're not in real estate, it is a challenge. And if you're trying to, step sideways, in other words, sell one house and move into another, there's a very important and interesting strategy now that we're using in order to help people have a place to go to. Because one of the biggest questions that we hear out there, Eric, if I sold my house, where am I going to go? And in fact, one of my neighbors recently sold his house. I says, but where are you going? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, well, what is it that you're looking for? And we were talking a little bit about what he was interested in moving, downsizing from a large 4,000 square foot house to something more along about half of that, right? Because he's retired and he's an empty nester. And I said, so did you look here? And he goes, that one's too small. Did you look over there? Well, there's nothing but junk on the market right now. And I go, well, let's talk some more. And we'll talk a little bit more about that during the week. So the three biggest obstacles, and this is now laying down the groundwork for the rest of the week in this transition from bad to good, from good debt to equity. But we have found that there's three big obstacles that seem to trip people up the most. The first one, obviously, if you're talking about debt, credit is an issue. And I'm talking about your credit. Your credit score is the most important single number in the financial world, more important even than your Social Security number, right? Your Social Security number means nothing if you don't have good credit. In fact, you could have a Social Security number and have no credit. You could have a Social Security number and have bad credit, in which case your Social Security number doesn't help you very much, does it? But having a good credit score is fundamental. And if that's an issue that you want to learn a little bit more about, then you definitely want to text the word credit, because we'll have a private one-on-one conversation talking about credit. That's credit. Text it to 561-861-2366. Sometimes the credit it's the issue is because you got too much credit. And we're gonna talk this week about how to break what seems to be the endless debt cycle. Every time I think I'm getting out of debt, it seems more debt pops in, or the interest rates go up, or you're just making the minimum payments anyway. The second largest obstacle are interest rates, right? And as I've been talking about, and that's why I gave out, text the word loan if you want to learn about some 3% and possibly sub 3% rates right now. the time is now. Don't be one of those people with the regrets, I shoulda, coulda, woulda crowd, because that never is good. So having good rates. Now, if you're in bad debt, then it doesn't matter what the rates are. You need to get out of the bad debt. You need to consolidate it into good debt. You need to consolidate it into better debt with better rates. Now, if you already have good debt and not so much of the bad debt, then let's talk about how do you optimize. And that's what our Wednesday workshop is all about. And this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, I announced it last week. And so if you're interested in coming to that workshop, where we're going to talk about inefficient and how to take you from inefficient loans to efficient loans. And I don't care if you already have one of those 3% rates. Do you know that I can make it more efficient, and I can actually show you how to lower the effective rate on a mortgage without even having to refinance the whole entire loan? This is one of the best kept secrets in the financial debt now into equity. Be more efficient in converting that debt into equity. Then text the word equity to 561-866. And so inefficient rates is the second biggest obstacle to making that transition into the equity or wealth building stage that you want to be in. And finally, the third rule, and this is also, we're going to be talking about this on our Wednesday night workshop, and it's online, so you can attend from work, from home. As long as you've got a computer connection, a cell connection, you can attend. But we're going to talk about the rules, or maybe I should say the tools on how to do that. Do you have the tools to do that? Do you know the rules by which the banks, credit card companies, finance companies, and in fact, the financial industry, do you understand the difference between simple interest and compound interest? Do you understand the difference between a revolving loan, an installment loan, a term loan versus all of the others? So you got to understand that in order to be able to get on the right path, the best path, so that you not only have good credit, you have the best kind of credit at the most efficient rates, paying it the most efficient way, which allows you then to convert from debt to wealth, as we were talking about all of last week. And man, I couldn't have timed this better. The music's coming in. That is our Monday on a mission here for the Real Estate Show. We've got the agenda, we've got our mission, and we got 4 more days. Tuesdays, tools, tips, and techniques. Wednesdays, our midweek report. Thursday, we're going to get really nitty gritty. We're going to talk about the money on our ATM, about the money edition of the Real Estate Show. And then, of course, we'll wrap it up all nice with a little bow on Friday. And maybe we'll have a couple of little surprises there this coming Friday as well. So 5 days a week right here, 5 o'clock p.m. live to catch us live. Otherwise, catch everything you want at automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. Remember to text the word credit or equity or loan, depending on what you heard, to 561-861-2366. That's it for me. That's Eric signing off for another edition of the Real Estate Show. Until tomorrow, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. All right. Cheers, my friend. Thank you.